what does it mean to come back here and be able to play or just as an opponent tonight?
Yeah, AZ was good to me, but I'm way happier where I'm at now. It was good to see people. It was fun to play in front of some fans. But for me, I'm way happier in Indiana.
What does it take to shut down the noise, flip a game on its head, and leave an entire arena stunned? For Sophie Cunningham, it was one fearless play in the middle of a disaster night for the Indiana Fever. The game against the Phoenix Mercury wasn't just another matchup. It was personal. The Fever were already on the ropes, the scoreboard looked ugly, and the crowd could smell blood. But Sophie? She saw an opening that most players wouldn't even try. With less than a minute to go in the fourth quarter, she caught the ball beyond the arc, a defender glued to her, and still let it fly. Contact. Whistle. And somehow, swish. That's 3 points in the bag and a free throw coming. A 4-point play in the clutch. That's rare. That's bold. And that's exactly what Sophie's built for. But here's the thing. This moment wasn't just about stats. It was about sending a message. No matter how bad the night gets, she's not backing down. And if you think that was the wildest part of the story, oh, just wait. Because what Sophie said after that game, that's when things really got heated.
That had to have been one of, if not the most embarrassing loss of the season for the Indiana Fever so far. We lost to the Atlanta Dream earlier in the season, 77-58. We lost to the Valkyrie earlier in the season, 80-61. And tonight, against the Phoenix Mercury, we lose 95-60.
The Fever were trailing, the clock was ticking, and the Mercury could already feel the wind slipping into their pocket. That's when Sophie Cunningham decided, not tonight. She drifted to the wing, caught the pass, and the defender was right in her face. Most players would kick it out, play it safe. But Sophie? She rose up for the three. The contact came mid-shot, shoulder to chest, and the ref's whistle cut through the noise. The ball arced high and dropped clean through the net. The crowd erupted. Fever fans jumped out of their seats. Mercury fans went dead silent. It wasn't just the 3 points, it was the bonus free throw that made it a 4-point swing in the final minute. And she nailed that too, like the pressure wasn't even there. That play didn't erase the loss, but it did something more important. It flipped the energy. The Fever walked off with a spark they'd been missing all night, and Sophie walked off knowing she just sent a message to her old team. She's not just surviving in Indiana, she's thriving. And if you thought she left it all on the court, think again. Because once the cameras came on after the game, Sophie dropped a few lines that made everyone sit up straight.
Does this team practice? What I saw tonight looked like what I saw a month ago. Looked what I saw 3 weeks ago. Absolutely no offensive game plan. I thought this motion offense is when it's nobody's night in and night out. Everybody's allowed to have a night. If Kelsey Mitchell doesn't play well, it needs miraculous efforts from the rest of the team to pick this up. Sophie Cunningham played great tonight. Kelsey Mitchell had a bad game. Bad game. Where's everybody else?
When Sophie Cunningham walked back into the Footprint Center to face the Phoenix Mercury, it wasn't just another road game, it was a reunion. 6 years in that building, 6 years wearing their colors, 6 years building a name. The fans knew it too. Some cheered, some booed, but all eyes were on her. And when the game ended, the questions came, how did it feel to be back? Sophie didn't flinch. AZ was good to me, but I'm way happier where I'm at right now. That wasn't a dig. It was honesty. She had memories in Phoenix, but Indiana gave her something different. Space to grow, a roster she clicked with, and a chance to be more than just a role player. The move wasn't easy. Leaving behind familiar faces, a city she knew, and stepping into a team still finding its identity, that's a gamble. But Sophie's bet is paying off. She's not just fitting in, she's becoming one of the voices that sets the tone. And while her return to Phoenix might have been emotional, it also reminded her of one thing. Comfort zones don't win championships. And Sophie? She's not here for comfort. She's here to push. Which is exactly why her next post-game comments hit harder than any stat line.
Other than Sophie Cunningham felt any type of emotional connection to this game. Tawana Bonner just got done doing your team absolutely dirty. You guys escape with a victory when they come to Indiana, and you wipe your hands of it like it's all over and finished with. No, it goes both ways. You don't think we want to beat her on her home court? You don't think we want to get a W for Sophie Cunningham, making her return to the team that she spent her whole entire career with up until this point?
Sophie.
The Indiana Fever have had flashes of brilliance this season. Big wins, highlight plays, moments where you think this team could be dangerous. But then, the very next game, it's like the spark disappears. And Sophie Cunningham is done pretending it's fine. After one of those ugly, hard-to-watch losses, she didn't sugarcoat a thing. No, we'll bounce back. No, just one of those nights. She said it straight. We're starting to get a little bit pissed off. It wasn't just about missed shots or bad defense. It was about effort, energy, that killer instinct that shows up every night, not just when it's convenient. Sophie's been in the league long enough to know, you can't build a winning culture if you keep taking one step forward and two steps back. Some players keep those thoughts behind closed doors. Sophie puts them on the record. And whether you love her bluntness or think it's too much, one thing's clear. She's not here to coast through another season. And if her honesty ruffled feathers? Good. Because Sophie's voice doesn't just stop at basketball. Off the court, she's been speaking out about something even bigger. And it's a problem the league can't ignore.
You see that? DeWanna Bonner hit her first three-point shot in about 6 months. And runs down the floor after losing her starting spot to Lexi Hull. Runs down the floor and calls Lexi Hull a bomb to her face. DeWanna Bonner is out here calling Lexi Hull a bomb to her face.
You expect WNBA players to talk about basketball, stats, plays, wins, and losses. But Sophie Cunningham? She's not afraid to speak up when something crosses the line. And lately, the line's been crossed in a way no one expected. It started as a bizarre trend, fans throwing things onto the court during games. But this wasn't just confetti or foam fingers. At one Fever game, someone launched an adult toy onto the floor, and it landed dangerously close to Sophie. That was it. She didn't laugh it off, she didn't brush it aside. She called it what it was: dangerous, disrespectful, and just plain wrong. "Stop throwing, you're going to hurt one of us," she warned. Her words spread fast. Some people joked about it online, others backed her completely. But Sophie wasn't chasing headlines, she was making sure the message was clear. Players are there to compete, not dodge objects flying from the stands. It was just another example of her no-nonsense approach. On the court, she plays hard. Off the court, she stands her ground. And when you put all those moments together, the clutch shots, the loyalty, the honesty, you get a player who refuses to hold back no matter the situation. And that's exactly how we wrap this story, because Sophie's not done making noise. Not by a long shot.
She was putting on a show designed to embarrass her former teammates.
You know, it was, yeah, I don't know, emotions are kind of high. Honestly, it's just been a journey to get back to just being happy playing basketball again. Yeah, I'm just, the joy, trying to find that. For a minute, basketball was kind of like off the radar for me a little bit. I didn't know if I loved it anymore. Like, we had a long conversation with Alyssa, so just to feel that again, feel that energy, feel this from that building was just amazing. And I feel like it was a game that I needed to, you know.
From the clutch 4-point play that stunned the Mercury crowd, to defending her teammate when the criticism got ugly, from leaving 6 years in Phoenix behind to calling out her own team's lack of urgency. Sophie Cunningham has made one thing crystal clear: she's not here to play it safe. She's here to lead, to push, to speak up when something's wrong, even if it means making people uncomfortable. And whether it's hitting the biggest shot of the night or telling fans to cut it out with dangerous stunts, she's not backing down. It's that mix of toughness and honesty that's making Sophie one of the most talked about players in the WNBA right now. Love her or not, you can't ignore her, because she's willing to say and do what others won't. And here's the thing: if this is how bold she's been in just one season with the Fever, imagine what's coming next. So, was Sophie's latest outburst the wake-up call Indiana needed? Or just the start of an even bigger storm? One thing's for sure: the next time Sophie Cunningham takes the court, the whole league will be watching.
See anyone be injured on any team. I feel like there's been a lot of injuries this year in the W, harsh ones, I think. And, you know, it's just another one. And Sid is still the heartbeat of our team. She's going to be okay. our team's going to be okay. And again, it's just another hurdle that we're going to have to get over.
Bonner's performance.
From the clutch 4-point play that stunned the Mercury crowd, to defending her teammate when the criticism got ugly, from leaving 6 years in Phoenix behind to calling out her own team's lack of urgency, Sophie Cunningham has made one thing crystal clear. She's not here to play it safe. She's here to lead, to push, to speak up when something's wrong, even if it means making people uncomfortable. And whether it's hitting the biggest shot of the night or telling fans to cut it out with dangerous stunts, she's not backing down. It's that mix of toughness and honesty that's making Sophie one of the most talked about players in the WNBA right now. Love her or not, you can't ignore her, because she's willing to say and do what others won't. And here's the thing, if this is how bold she's been in just one season with the Fever, imagine what's coming next. So, was Sophie's latest outburst the wake-up call Indiana needed? Or just the start of an even bigger storm? One thing's for sure, the next time Sophie Cunningham takes the court, the whole league will be watching.